Have you ever heard the story of the last bus to Fragrant Hills, bus number 375? This haunting tale originates from Beijing and has spooked locals since the 1990s. Even today it gives people chills. Let me tell you the full story. The Haunting Hour. The last bus to Fragrant Hills, bus number 375. But first I will ask a question for my audience. Why did the old man slap Fuji and insist they get off the bus? It all started on the night of November the 14th, 1995. It was raining heavily around the Haidian district of Beijing. A man named Fuji stood alone at a small deserted bus station, waiting for the last bus to Fragrant Hills. It was late, the storm was getting worse, and he was anxious to get home. After a few minutes, an old man arrived at the stop and stood beside him. They both waited in the pouring rain for bus number 375. Finally, after a long wait, the bus appeared. Both men boarded, and to no surprise, the bus was completely empty. It was understandable. Who would travel in such terrible weather? Fuji took a seat next to the driver, and the old man sat beside him. The wind howled outside, and the streets were starting to flood. As they drove, the bus came to a sudden halt. The driver turned and told them that the main road to Fragrant Hills was flooded, so they would need to take an alternate route. Fuji was uneasy about this, but the old man hesitated even more, warning that the new path might not be safe. Despite his concerns, they had no choice. The driver reassured them that he knew the alternate way well, so they continued on. The new route was dark and desolate, with fields stretching far on both sides of the road. The rain continued to pour, though it began to ease up slightly. Soon, the cool, fragrant air from outside made the atmosphere inside the bus more pleasant. Fuji, feeling relaxed, drifted off to sleep. The old man followed suit, both men lulled by the sound of the rain. However, the driver was getting tired too. Noticing this, the bus conductor, who had been silent so far, started telling him a story to keep him awake. He spoke of Zhongkui, a ghostly figure in Chinese folklore. Zhongkui was a man who had been rejected and humiliated for his ugly appearance, despite being a brilliant scholar. After his death, Yama, the god of death, made Zhongkui the king of ghosts, granting him power over spirits. As the conductor finished his tale, the driver spotted something ahead. A group of 3 people stood by the side of the road, waiting in the rain. The bus was nearly empty, so the conductor suggested picking them up. The driver hesitated but agreed. The 3 passengers boarded the bus silently. These new passengers were dressed in strange, old-fashioned robes from the Qing dynasty. One of them, a tall man with long black hair, seemed to be their leader. The other 2 appeared to serve him as they helped him onto the bus. They took seats at the back, sitting in complete silence, their faces pale and emotionless. The old man beside Fuji started staring at these new passengers. Something about them didn't feel right. He whispered to the conductor, pointing out how unnaturally pale their faces were. The conductor brushed off his concerns, suggesting that they might be actors from a drama troupe and were probably still in costume. The bus continued its journey, the rain slowing down, and the moonlight began to filter through the bus windows. Fuji was enjoying the cool night breeze, lost in thought, when the old man suddenly turned to him and said, "Why did you whisper that to me?" Fuji was taken aback and confused. "I didn't say anything," he replied, but the old man insisted that he had heard something. The situation quickly escalated. The old man became furious and slapped Fuji, accusing him of disrespect. A heated argument broke out between them. The bus conductor intervened, and the old man demanded they get off the bus and settle the matter at a police station. Left with no choice, the conductor stopped the bus and let both Fuji and the old man off in the middle of a deserted road. As they stood there, alone and soaked in the rain, Fuji angrily asked the old man why he had made such a scene. The old man's next words sent chills down Fuji's spine. "You should be thanking me," the old man said calmly. "I just saved your life." Confused, Fuji asked what he meant. The old man explained that when the wind blew inside the bus, he noticed something disturbing about the 3 new passengers at the back. They had no feet. The old man's words hit Fuji like a bolt of lightning. He realized that those 3 passengers weren't ordinary people. They were spirits, possibly from another world. Without another word, the old man started walking, leaving Fuji standing in shock. The next day, news broke that bus number 375 had gone missing. It was later found submerged in a reservoir about 60 miles away from Fragrant Hills. Inside the bus were 5 bodies: the driver, the conductor, and 3 unknown corpses. Strangely, the 3 unidentified bodies were severely decayed, as if they had been dead for a long time. The bus itself had run out of fuel, but when the police opened the fuel tank, they found it filled with blood. The entire situation was bizarre and unexplainable. Though many versions of this story exist, the mystery of bus number 375 remains unsolved. Was it an encounter with the supernatural, or just a chilling coincidence? No one knows for sure, but one thing is certain: this eerie tale has left its mark on Beijing's folklore. So here is the answer of the question. The old man realized something terrifying about the 3 passengers who boarded the bus. Their clothes were from an ancient era, and their pale faces were too unsettling. He noticed that their robes were fluttering in the wind, but shockingly, none of them had feet. Understanding that they were ghosts, the old man slapped Fuji to create a distraction, giving them an excuse to leave the bus and save themselves from the sinister fate awaiting the other passengers. Hey there, I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch my content. If you enjoyed the story and would like to see more like this, I'd be so grateful if you could support the channel by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Your support helps me create even better content for you, and it means the world to me. Thank you for being part of this journey